Hello, little friend. Hey, Miko! This is Marcus. He's a very good kitty. How you feeling? Second here. Let's do a thing. So I brought the looper downstairs. It's not bad. Today we're using Alnico 4 pickups, currently in split coil, and for the gain, it's the Mojo effects, or Mojo hand effects, extra special overdrive. You just get yourself healed up, man. fun to do. Turn that off. It's about time I brought the looper back downstairs. I usually don't have to use that. I mean, it's just basically for like live applications like this. But when it comes down to, you know, and upstairs, you know, so live applications. But I don't really need a looper if I have a DAW that I can just plug right into and play through. So, yeah. That's fun, though. The whole, you know, make something up on the fly and play something over it. Cold today. Oil change today, along with the cold. Not my own, of course, my car's. Of course, you have to hit a wrong string now and again. But you can kind of, you know, massage yourself through it. It's not that wrong, is it? You know, that kind of, yeah. So once again, I'm trying to do a trade. A USA-made Godin from back in the day. Oh, hi. Oh, and good morning from the States, by the way. I had a hell of a night last night. I got up really too early yesterday. Got to bed about 8:30 at night. I was nauseous. I don't get nauseous. It's a weird thing, but I was nauseous. So, you know, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Kind of went away. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, kind of went away. Woke up at 5 and I'm like, screw it, I'm up. It's been 9 hours, I'm okay, we'll be fine. Vitamin E. And so that's what I did. But let's see. But that's, you know, news of the personal. But yeah, I'm trying to make a trade for, the guys never got back to me, so I really doubt that it's going to happen. But there's a 1990s, and I'm really a fan of a lot of 90s guitars. I'm working it today. No, I'm not going into work today. I'm doing there's going to be an oil change for my car in the future, and not too long in the future. And I'm going to be working on some material, but that's that. No, today is going to be a nice day of relaxation, and with the exception of, you know, having to go to get my oil changed. I don't want to do it here because it's wet and it's cold. In fact, I haven't changed my own oil in a while because I don't like it when it's wet and it's cold. And in Western Washington, it's almost always wet and cold until it's not. And most of the time, I've noticed that it's not so often that I will probably be at work when it is nice and warm. So anyway, I'm going to get an oil change. But they get you, you see, by doing that. They'll tell you how much it costs, and then they don't tell you about the hidden costs because they charge you about the same as the oil change for recycling your old oil, which is just dumb because that's free. Why, you got plans for me? I gotta say, these particular pickups, I'm really, I mentioned before I was a fan of them, the Alnico 4 from Guitar Part Zone, but I really, really, really like them in single coil because they are very kind of stratty. And a lot of other pickups kind of just lose output. These kind of have a nice pop and squeak to them. It makes it very Strat-like. It'd be helpful if I stayed in the same key. Something everybody should practice. You play an arpeggio or play anything. To be able to slide up and back down to a different note and then back down to the same note that you were on, or a different note if you choose. Like this, when I'm playing the G major arpeggio. To be able to slide up and then back down to another note or the same note is it's kind of a nifty thing to do. Why would you want to be able to do that? Why not? Nope. I mean, what if you didn't want to tap? What if you wanted to do, well, that would be fun, wouldn't it? It also helps with other position shifts. See what I mean? I have the one that I have back there. That's a joke. I think it's a Motu that doesn't work anymore. It never really had a good connection, USB-wise. It kept dropping, and then eventually Reaper just stopped seeing it. The funny thing is that Reaper stopped seeing it, but everything else didn't. I could do MIDI tests and all sorts of other stuff, and it still comes up, but Reaper just doesn't see it anymore. So I got this little guy from Nectar that, if you can tell by the dust, I haven't used it in about a year. Oh, if I only had a little white glove. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while. But I've got this little guy, and it works out pretty all right. I would prefer something that's a little more grand, but that's about it. And when I also have, if you're talking about for computer keyboards, I have this little guy. Nice, cheap, very quiet. Still mechanical. Happy about that. So, yeah, that's that. Most of the time, I wind up writing in MIDI. So, like with piano roll. I'm not much of a skilled pianist. I'm a trained guitar player. I mean, that's just what I do. I've got strings, and I've got a hand that says, yes, frets. And I've got a hand that says, I like holding picks. Or, I have several picks, you know. In fact, yeah, let's eschew the pick for now. Change that a little. Yeah, well. It's a superimposition, by the way. Doesn't really work very well, but you can do it. Essentially, B Lydian, or excuse me, A Lydian, combined with A major. And of course, some of the stuff. Even if you're not a keyboard player, you understand the rules of music, so it'd be easier for me to learn. There's some technical truths there. You know, I understand many things. You know, I mean, I understand how like nuclear propulsion works. It doesn't mean I can go out and, you know, make one or make a nuclear powered sub. But there's some general truths to that, like, you know, octaves, intervals, how, you know, notes work with each other to make different sounds. Yes. Which is why, by the way, I write in piano roll a lot. So if you go back and in my archives, I do a piece called The 200 for when I had 200 subscribers. And oh my God, I've got 1,100 now. For probably all the wrong reasons, or at least half of them. For all the wrong reasons. You did a mashup! Yeah, that's not what I do. I just put it up there. Thanks, though. You know? But nevertheless... What was I going to say, though? Yeah, so when I write in piano roll, it's essentially like, you know, it's a slow version of me plinking on the keyboard, but it's always in time, and I don't have a problem with that. But I've got all the sounds that I need for it. Mostly, yeah, all of them were free. You know, anything from labs and whatnot. But I think that a lot of the free plugins that are out there for guitar or keyboard or whatever, you know, virtual instruments or real, I don't know if they realize. A keyboard player from Dream Theater, forgot his name. That would probably be Jordan Rudess, unless you were talking about the old one, Kevin. And in my opinion, Kevin was the better keyboardist. Not on a technical level, but on a compositional level. I liked their stuff better back when he was in the band. A lot. I feel like they've been trying to chase their own image for the last... this is not... I am not insulting John Petrucci or any of the other members of the group, but I feel like they've been trying to chase that sound ever since he left. And it's just not the same. You know, he was the soul of the band. Much like with Neobliviscaris when they got rid of Cygnus, the bass player. The band is forever changed. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. So. What about you? Are you working today? today is a big pick day. Let's do a flow. Should be interesting. You're working in the night. Oh, we're not too far different on our times then. It also explains, though, why you were up so late, technically, on my end of things, you know? Let's see here. Okay. Let's take this straight Phrygian. With a little Phrygian dominant thrown in. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I'll set it to music. Clean music. Imagine, if you will, a 19-year-old guitar player, Kirk, me. Been playing for 5 years. I took a year off on year 3 because I was dumb. I was able to play many things. Had a very good left-hand technique and a pretty competent right-hand technique that was getting better all the time. It would improve tremendously over the next 3 to 5 years. But I pretty much had my style laid out before me. I was big on Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie more for the technique than stylistic approach. But I really liked, and Randy Rhoads. So, taking that into account, and with my heavier influences such as Metallica and Iron Maiden at the time, a lot of thrash metal generally, I began to get a certain style and a certain approach on composition and playing guitar. And then a friend of mine gave me a phone call and said, "Kirk, turn on MTV." And I did. And Dream Theater was on. And it was the Pull Me Under thing. And I was actually mad by the end of the video because I saw somebody playing stuff that I play all the time back in the day, and that I knew at that point that I would never become known for that because he did it first and people would see it first. And we have something as humans called we have flawed memories, but we have something that's like a primacy fallacy, where we'll always remember the first thing we hear of the thing first. And so, and I'm just being as genuine as possible. He'd never heard me a day in his life. He's just a guy with a very similar style of what I was going after at the time. So I had to change to try to become more individual. And I was really pissed about that. I was really pissed about everything that I had trained for 5 years. I was just not, nope, nobody's ever going to know me for doing that. So, but the lead to pull me under, I was playing stuff like that all the time. And it was the sound I was going for. So I was not happy about that. And I hated John Petrucci for that for years, and it's not his fault. Years. Fantastic. Capture that magic, sir. Anyway, yeah, as far as Petrucci is concerned, it was Rock Discipline that broke me from absolutely hating him for being himself. Because, like me, I was just being myself, and he came around and just sounded a lot like what I was being, myself. To me, this is small town kid, 19, who hears something for the first time that sounds just like stuff that he's already doing, that he's never heard anybody else really do. So, that just really screwed me up. But, I liked the first Dream Theater album. I was still mad at him, but, I still, for no good reason at all. And, anyway, Rock Discipline. I got Rock Discipline. And, it is directly because of John Petrucci that I advanced tremendously in the next year or two after getting the album, or getting the VHS of Rock Discipline and actually following what he says to do. So, that's that. Your son just turned 1. Man, what are you doing here? That's fantastic. But go be with your kid, man. That's great. Good for you, man. And good for your kid. Congratulations. So I see you're working with your katana as a gift to yourself for your child turning 1. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Uh-huh. Marky, did you come back in? Let me meow for you. Man, I can say kind of the same thing. I mean, last week was my kid's birthday, and I got this. Of course, last week she turned 25. That was Monday. And I still got myself a present on Saturday, so. But it wasn't, of course. It's a different reason. But no, I'm trying to do another trade with a guy that hasn't got back to me yet for a USA-made guitar from the 90s, and I'm a big fan of 90s-made guitars, especially if they're made in Japan or made in the US. I hate Tenacious D. They copied my style. No, this is just the musings of a 19-year-old kid, man. I mean, like I said, I was a kid when I was exposed to them for the first time and thought to myself, well, the whole thing that I'm going after is never going to materialize because they're going to be famous for it, and I'll be considered the ripoff, even though I'd never heard them before. Just... it's enough to, kind of ruffle your feathers. Let's say I invent a car, somebody else comes out with a car, and everybody sees it first. Well, I'm no longer an inventor of a car. I mean, I am, but if other people hear about me after that, it'll be the primacy fallacy where I'm the copycat because they heard about me second instead of knowing that I came out with it first. Alexander Graham Bell versus Gray, same type of thing. But the thing is, they both worked independently, and they both came up with their own thing. One got the patent before the other. It's the same type of situation here. But there's no reason for me to be angry at the artist for being themselves. There wasn't. This is just me being, a stupid kid. So, but there you go. Good. Get those fingers going, bro. So I had not used really 7 strings for a long time, except for the one that I built. Let me go ahead and go back to that. It's a good guitar. Oy. Oh, and it's plugged into something else. Oh dear. I am liking this little soundtrack. It sounds like something Mark Knopfler would have written for Princess Bride or something like that. So, hello, my name is not Inigo Montoya. No one killed my father, as far as I know. Prepare to listen. Oh, wait. Marcus having a good old time back there. I haven't talked about Satriani stuff in a while, actually, which reminds me of the Mystical Potato Head Groove thing, which I haven't played in several months because I quit the band that kept having me do it. But this would fit here. It's a nice add 9, minor 9. So it's nice to kind of have that shift to Dorian right there. Start with straight minor. Change my tone, if he could. So, well, this requires a little more gain. That whole... Funny how I don't forget that one. Cute. Haha, it's here. No, you see, it's a funny thing. The more I play this, the more I like playing it. And the more I like playing it, of course, the more I'm going to want to play it. But I'm finding myself wanting to pick this thing up almost all the time. And I know this might be like a guitar acquisition syndrome side effect, you know, like with new gear. New gear is like, ooh, it's new. I like. So, but no. There's a sound to this. There's a tone to it that I really dig. And it plays really, really nice. And it gives me a bit of a wider range to mess around with. But I was going to mention this. That this, if I played it fast, I'd probably be able to, that. Which he does this way. You know, that. And then, what is that? Something like that. Is that it? Ah, Lydian. I haven't done that in a while, but I recommend that to every single person that's listening right now, is to start playing B, F sharp, C sharp, and then back to, what is that, D, A, E. Make sure you try to get all of your notes in there correctly. And then when you switch it up to the D, which is A, D, A, E, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, I never really finished answering the Petrucci question. Sorry about the squirreliness. That's what my brain does. It's Kirk's tree of conversation. You have this general trunk, in which there's lots of branches, and I'm like a little squirrel that's climbing up all those little branches looking for acorns, and sometimes I fall off and I forget which tree I was on, so I go and climb another, and then I see the tree I was on, and I jump back over to it. That's how my brain works. But, jumbled thoughts. Schizoid. Fun stuff. Anyway, I've got this thing about John Petrucci where he is somebody I just don't listen to, but I absolutely love him as a guitar player, and I'm very thankful that he exists, and I'm very thankful. This is a different place, right? I'm very thankful that he exists, and I'm very thankful that he plays the way he does, and is an inspiration to millions, and is one of the driving forces behind guitar shreddery, staying, present between the 1990s, the grunge era, 1990s, and the years to come. He's one of the primary reasons. He and a band named Cynic, which is not often known, I think are probably the two driving forces behind like prog music today. You wouldn't have Cynic if you didn't. Excuse me, you wouldn't have Animals as leaders if you didn't have Cynic, for instance. It just wouldn't exist. Pushing the envelope of musicality and all that. It just, like I said, without this, you wouldn't have that. A cat saying out there. It's a little boy. It's what he does. So. He's probably been up here too, but I don't get out much. So, as you can probably tell. Did you ever go to one of those? Did you actually get to see the great man? I should just play in D. I'm hitting that a lot. Oh, shoot. I didn't even notice it was you, Bill. Hey, Bill. Out there. With the computer and the coffee. So, well, terrible about that. You know what I think I need? A co-host to play with would be nice. Even if it were, apart. And, we could talk about music, talk about guitar and whatnot. It would be a grand thing. So... Oh, well, I have an answer for you, but you might not like it. It's called just being inspired. So you can learn a lot by just, osmosis, sitting and watching. It's like an artist being inspired by nature, going out, sitting out. I mean, any kind of artist, by the way. You going out, sitting out, and just listening and observing. You don't actually have to do or have like personal interaction with nature, and like hey tree, how you doing? Why aren't you talking back to me, tree? You just you sit and you watch and you observe. So I've gone to several clinics, and this is not to fill you with any kind of like back emotion, like dang I should have gone, but if you get an opportunity again, please go. I saw Michelangelo Badio. I saw and I mentioned that before, I think, but very, very energetic, great, very cool, kooky dude, and an amazing guitar player. I saw Tony McAlpine, same situation. I saw Gary Hoey, same situation, and I saw Dave Urich, which should be much more well known, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing things like this. That kind of stuff. I mean, Tony McAlpine did that too. But I saw Dave Urich first, and he was the first person I ever saw doing like sweep taps. So, this whole thing. Never saw that before. So, you don't like chaos? That sounds very familiar. That's a lot like my wife, actually. She's not a big fan of crowds. So, which is kind of chaotic. But, if you sit in the front row, it's less chaotic. So, it's a funny thing. Fender came out with the Big Apple Strat this is about the same time I saw Gary Hoey at the clinic. And they were, of course, doing the clinic for the Big Apple Strat, which was basically 2 humbuckers, 22 frets, Floyd Rose. And he was, of course, subbing, for that, or shilling for that. And this is funny to me because about the same time, Pizza Hut came out with the Big New Yorker. So that's a pizza. And naturally, it's Pizza Hut. But they came out with the Big New Yorker, and they were selling the Big Apple Strat. So when they are asking questions to give away T-shirts, they said, "Okay, what's the name of the Strat?" And I yelled out, "The Big New Yorker." I didn't get the T-shirt, so they were like, "That's wrong." So, which I always thought was kind of funny, a lot, because I really, whoops. But as it turns out, Gary is a nice guy, martial arts guy. Where he grew up, apparently he had a really good friend with the same name as me. He was like, "You should get a hold of me on the website. We'll talk." I never did because, I'm kind of an abortive personality, and at the same time I'm kind of like, no, I can't talk to real people. No. Parasocial relationships only. Come on. So. Oh, 7 strings. All right, everybody, I'm getting out of here. It's 9 o'clock. Stream for an hour, and I've enjoyed everyone's company who showed up, even if I caught you late. Sorry, Bill. Nevertheless, I appreciate everybody showing up, and I'm going to have to start getting pants on and getting out of the house. So have a blessed day, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Play faster when you can. Hopefully you guys will be much more warmed up than I am by the end of the day on a guitar. Or just because it's freaking cold out here. Again, it's not getting over the 50s apparently over here for the next week, and it's driving me nuts. And of course, the week after that is when I'm going to Arizona. So you got 1, 2, 3 more streams from me before I'm out of here, and the last one's going to be pretty short because I got to wake up really, really early to hit the road. So fun times, and that would be on Tuesday, the 8th. Do some weird shit here. Oh, I don't want to end on a terrible note. Actually, I do. There, you guys can imagine how that ends. Good night, everybody. Which really is good day, unless you're working nights. Bye.